The project explores elderly life in rural China, synchronizing the ancestral hall with the house. Since the space has been misused, it is now mainly used for informal social activities, especially by the elderly. The project will push further and explore more possibilities. 20% of China's population is elderly, more than half being empty nesters. The departure of the young generation leave the elderly mentally isolated, and the body degeneration make the daily task quite challenging. The mutual aid spontaneously emerged, such as elderly association, haircut, shared kitchens. All these events take place in the ancestral hall. The ancestral hall is a place for the ancestor worship. The traditional village is based on the blood ties, sharing the same ancestors. The tablet or drawings of ancestors are placed in the hall. After death, people's name will be inscribed on a panel, becoming part of the ancestor to bless others, and it's also a way to commemorate those who has been passed away. Ancestral hall being involved, from ancestor veneration to communist education, now appropriated by the elderly as living room. It goes through 3 stages: ancestor, dead ideologies, family type, and dead space.
Chapter 1: Ancestor. Ancestral halls are common in China due to the culture of filial piety, which means respecting parents, elders, and ancestors, ultimately serving for governance, establishing a hierarchy dominated by the elderly. The research begins with a real case, Ye's ancestral hall in Guangzhou, with most villagers sharing the Ye surname. Ancestral halls are distributed based on lineage power structures reflecting this hierarchy. Clear boundaries emphasize ownership, with halls and patios alternating, transitioning from secular to sacred along the central axis. The main hall, housing ancestor tablets, empowers descendants to use the space. Between ceremonies, it remains sacred, while front halls and patios host lineage activities. Filial piety promotes multi-generational living, where children care for the elderly at home, living alongside ancestors. As reflected in the Chinese saying, serving the dead is like serving the living. Ancestral halls mirror houses with their distinct social hierarchies. Chapter 2: Dead ideologies and family types. With China's transition to communism, ancestor worship was abolished. Hierarchies dissolved, leading to the collapse of lineages replaced by collective living. Ancestral halls lost their historical function, abandoned or repurposed. Yep's ancestral hall, repurposed as a school, economic independence promoted separate living arrangements. Bedrooms are the basic living unit, with other functions like kitchen relocated to public spaces. Elderly, without traditional family support, repurpose ancestral halls as shelters, merging homes and workplaces for mutual support. During this time, shifts in ideology and family types erased the ancestral hall's historical function, leaving it as an empty shell that reshaped the elderly's lives alongside residences. Chapter 3: Dead Space. Economic reforms triggered a cultural revival, revitalizing ancestral halls as lineage symbols. Rituals reintroduced hierarchy, empowering the elderly to utilize the space. Ancestral halls remain public spaces utilized for various activities such as temporary kitchens and activity centers. Capitalism's dissolution of the extended family left the elderly with inadequate support, leading to the emergence of elderly associations for mutual aid. People lived with unused dead space. A mutual support network emerged, with ancestral halls becoming integral.
In conclusion, the ancestral hall, retaining its sacred and symbolic significance, is being utilized as a framework in unforeseen ways. Living with the dead. The dead means ancestors, past ideologies, dissolved family type, and unused space. This site is situated in Shixia, Guangzhou, near the case study. Select one ancestral hall as a test site. We'll explain the design through one character, Grandma Ray, in her 17th, who lives alone in the village. Daughters and sons family returns for a few days each year, leaving the space available for other use. Once a shell space is now divided and occupied by different families. Currently, Ray spends most of her time in the ancestral hall for mental and physical support to enhance the mutual aid. The project introduced a flexible housing system with communal spaces. Renovate the house as ancestral hall. Jian was the fundamental modular unit, refers the space between two columns. Restore the space to Jian, openings for doors. Introduce a door system. The door defines the boundary of the families. If the space extends, the cat will be the owner of two rooms. It means Ray has the option to live alone or with others. The family structure can be dynamic. For the patio, new gate is emptied. Retain the familiar social space and elements. It's private space, yet public access. The column will help establish the spatial order. The patio makes the space more adaptable. Renovate the village as an ancestral hall. A clear outline to ensure the privacy. Foster a sense of ownership and belongings. Blurred boundaries, allowing for expansion. Make it more adaptable. Spatial hierarchy defines unchangeable space and no function zones. The patios can be combined with different functions like shared kitchen.
从去年开始，我加入了村子的改造计划。之前我独自守着这个空房子，改造后，我的生活多了更多的可能性。工人们拆除了部分现有的墙体，加固了结构，安装了新门和厕所。现在我住在这个房间，其他的房间出租给了一对有孩子的夫妻。白天他们外出务工，我帮忙照看孩子。平时他们很照顾我，洗澡一直是个大问题，对我和朋友们都是。新建的公共浴室让我们可以相互帮助。新的设计保留了原有的门口社交空间，让人们可以待得更久。以前我大部分时间都在祠堂，每天11点我去帮忙准备午饭。我们有一个共享厨房，大家轮班做饭。如果不是我轮班，我就去打乒乓球，乒乓球桌也可以用作餐桌。下午我待在祠堂，下棋、看电视、聊天。老周会帮我在祠堂门口的树下剪头发。改造后，村子有了更多的公共场地，每天泡泡脚，我的腿也不那么痛了。天井的餐厅是多功能的，可以用来打麻将或者编竹篮。共享厨房旁边有个小菜园，我种了点我最喜欢的小辣椒。现在整个村子仿佛变成了一个大祠堂。新建的祠堂通过仪式和空间，把所有人都联系起来。供奉祭品的中厅，平时被老罗当成木工工作室。有时候我会跟着大家打打太极。各种活动和节日仪式也在天井举办。新旧居民之间的矛盾不可避免的，比如瑞刚睡下，就听到新来的小李大展歌喉。我像使用祠堂一样使用村子，熟悉的空间和更多未知的可能性。
The project begins with the tablet altar shelf combined with the staircase enhance the spatial orders. It's for the tablet, for the dead, and also for the living, for the daily life and entertainment. The patios ensures flexibilities can extend to the communities. In the end, the village is transformed into a shell space with communal ownership. The ancestral hall, once a powerful symbol of the specific belief practices, has now opened up possibilities for different uses. originated from the house based on the filial piety, and now it has back to the families and the elderly. It's a place for the dead, but also a place for the living to experiment.